Okay, these are sand plum trees foraging in our home state. These don't have any fruits on them. Maybe people have already picked them off, or animals, birds have gotten to them. I don't know, but we had found a pretty big thicket of them here. So we want to pick as many as we can. We're going to take them back home, make some jelly or jam or whatever. Not really sure. I wish we would have enough we could make some wine, but who knows.
Check it out. Got some really pretty ones here. Here, get a load of these. A load of those babies.
Those
Nice. Hey folks, E-Chip and Rob are out at an undisclosed location in the central U.S. where we are picking sand plums. Sand plums are native to this part of the country. There is some lore that says that the Chickasaws, when they came here from their ancestral homes in Mississippi, brought them with them and cultivated them. They've just spread since then. I don't know if it's true. But the botanical name for these little dudes is Prunus angustifolia. And they're just a very small wild plum. When the fruit ripens, it is sweet. These that aren't quite ripened obviously are much more astringent, not as tasty. But as I understand it, if you pick them when they're near ripe, even if they're not fully ripe, they'll ripen within a couple of days. They're great for jams, jellies, things like that, and they're just fun to eat. So that's what we're out here doing today. We're out here enjoying ourselves, beautiful weather, and picking some wild plums. There are also whole bunches of grapes, muscadine, things like that in this area that aren't quite ripe, so we'll have to come back in August when those grapes are ripe. So having fun. You having fun, Robert?
I am. Growing up down here, I never ever knew about this. My parents never did come and do this. Look right here.
Oh, walked right under them.
They're not easy to pull off.
Yeah, then they're not ready.
He dropped one.
Sorry. Didn't mean nothing by it.
I guess they turn really, really red, huh?
Yeah, they do. Purple even. I've seen them purple, like a regular plum.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
But I had never seen sand plums with this many plums on them.
Well, maybe it was a good year for wild
Yeah.
plums. Here is a detailed video of what the leaves look like. I guess they look like a typical plum tree. I don't know. I've never seen a regular plum tree.
Pretty close.
E-Chip's adventures have taken him to more places. But you can see on this one how they grow, kind of hang off the little joins. I don't know what those are called. I'm not a botanist.
Little stem.
Stems. Well, but they grow out of a little
Yeah, they grow like a little bud or something.
Yes, I called it a join. I don't know what to call it, but that's what I would call it. A little
Node.
Yeah, something like that. Oh, here's a bunch more over here. A ton. Oh, wow. There's a huge amount down there, too.
Is there?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we want.
Oh, here's some purple ones, babe. You want to try one?
Yes, please.
I found 3 purples.
Nice.
They're a little bit almost turning to pruny, but
That's all right. Ready?
I am ready.
This one's got an insect in it.
Oh, we'll eat it anyway.
I gotta eat it.
Protein.
So does that one.
Protein. They might all be insectidy.
Practically a prune.
Mine was pretty good.
Here's a thicket we came across. The owner was kind enough to let us harvest from his land. These bushes are loaded with a lot of ripe fruit. A lot of it's not so ripe, and ripening, but still looks really, really good. Here we have, underneath the thicket here, a bunch of ripe ones that have just fallen. Insects have not gotten to them yet. They're not bruised. They're not mushy. Most of them are in beautiful shape. I'm going to collect all these. Are you having a good day?
Oh, yes, we've got 1 5-gallon bucket full of plums. They're not as ripe as the ones we found here, but mostly we've been trying to pick them up off the ground because we know that they're really super ripe and they'll make good whatever we want to make.
Without a doubt.
I'm super excited. It got beat up a little bit.
Yeah, this is a great patch though, without a doubt, and still a lot to spare. We told the owner we were just going to take the ones that were ready, and about half of what we got, which is about got about 1.5 gallons here of these. We picked up in about 10 or 15 minutes, and most of them off of the ground underneath the bush. So they're just starting to drop and really looking good. Anyway, sure I'm grateful to this owner.
Hey everyone, we're back home. We have our haul of sand plums. We have a 5-gallon bucket full. You can see them here. And then here in this bucket we have, I would say, probably 1 gallon worth or something like that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to rinse them off and dry them, and then we're going to sort through them because we have some really ripe ones, and then we have some that are not so ripe. And we have some pans we're going to lay them out in a single layer. We're going to let them ripen up. It usually takes about 2 days for that to happen, and even if the plums are from the same tree, they can ripen at different rates. So what you can do is you can go ahead and boil them down, get the syrup, freeze the syrup until all of your plums are ripened, and then you can boil all of the rest of them down and make all of your jelly at the same time. But it freezes well, and you can just have 1 day of jelly making instead of several days over the course of a week. Here are all of the plums that we gathered, and you can see this sink here has some really ripe plums in it. This sink has the ones that obviously are not ready, so we're going to clean them up, let those ripen, and go from there.
Looks like a cranberry bog.
Oh, yes, it does kind of look like a cranberry bog. And we kind of made a mess too. Look at all the leaves. But we're pretty happy with what we found.
We scored.
Yep, it's a nice
take.
We've got all of our plums sorted out into as like states of ripening as we think. These are the ones that are more yellow. Obviously, there's some kind of red ones in there, but
They're hard as a rock too.
they're really hard. So hopefully these will get soft and ripe in a few days and we can use them. This small pan are the ones that are overly ripe and kind of squishy. We're going to use those for wine, we think. These are the ones that are somewhat red but need a little more time to get a little sweeter, a little softer. So we've got all of our plums sorted, and so I was going to show you a couple of them here. This one's pretty, it's kind of soft to the touch, and it's really, really a nice plum color. This one's more firm, and it's not quite as red. So we've been trying to determine which is the perfect color. So this one here, I'm going to try. That one is pretty soft and really sweet. This one, I'm going to try it. The second one is much, much better. So in my professional opinion, the second one,
And you're a professional sand plum picker.
Yes, I am now a professional sand plum picker. Something maybe about this color, one of them, is probably just about the right sweetness. When you're making jellies and preserves, sometimes you'll find a recipe that calls for lemon juice, something a little tart to brighten up the sweetness, maybe to offset it a little bit. With the plums that we have here, we don't think we're going to have to worry about adding any kind of lemon juice or anything, because between the ones that are not so ripe and the ones that are really ripe, we're going to have the right amount of sweetness and acid. So I can't wait to get around to actually making the jelly, getting these boiled down and get the syrup and all of that. It's going to be my first time to make anything like that, so I'm really excited. Here is our haul. Hey Chip, how long do you think we were out there picking these?
Oh, actual picking time, about 3 hours worth.
So we have, going from this end here down, ripest to greenest. The first one here we're going to fix up and boil off here in just a second. We're going to let all of these ripen. This pan is going to be used for wine because they're really overly ripe, kind of bug infested, you know, who knows. They're not really suitable for much of anything else. Some of them have even started the fermenting process, so we thought that would be kind of a good addition for our first wine.